Alright guys, pay attention. There's this band I started listening to around a year ago, which shocked me with its incredible experimental sound. That band is Imperial Triumphant. And if you haven't heard them yet, brace yourselves. They have such an unique sound that I never heard anywhere else. It's extreme metal combined with jazz, combined with classical music. Such a beautiful smorgasbord of things. Inspired mostly by New York City. I have been listening to this band, which I cannot believe has led me to this beautiful moment in which I can interview their vocalist, Zach. So hello you guys, this is CORNEA-SAL, and today we're going to be interviewing Imperial Triumphant. Alright, hi, how are you?
Chilling, how are you?
First of all, can you please introduce yourself for the viewers?
My name is Zachary Ezrin, and I'm from Imperial Triumphant.
First of all, I want to talk less as an interviewer and more as a fan. I'm a big fan, yeah.
Thank you very, very much. That's very, very nice to hear.
So you've been together as Imperial Triumphant for about 20 years, I see. 2005?
It's like a bit hazy. Let's say I started a band in 2005 called Imperial Triumphant, but it was a completely different band with a different lineup and a different style. I'd say 2012 is the real starting point of the Imperial Triumphant that everyone else in the world knows, you know? And there was kind of like that was just like a teenage childhood band name, you know? Different band, different style. From 2008 to 2012, I really wasn't doing anything Imperial. Like, I was just in university. It was just like, we didn't really do much.
I saw you were more in like a black metal route.
Yeah, it was pretty much just like an Immortal cover band.
Oh, okay, I see.
I mean, all we did was play like Immortal style black metal, medieval Viking shit.
Okay.
And just typical teenager edgelord bullshit, you know?
Typical black metal thing, Viking nature.
But I'd say it's somewhat acceptable if you're 15 years old, you know?
Yeah, well, you have to grow into something different eventually. So
Exactly.
I want to know, so do you have a specific like musical formation? Were you self-taught? Did you go to school?
No, I studied guitar since I was 7, and then I went to university and studied classical composition.
Okay.
I have a degree in classical composition.
Oh, that's really interesting. Were you always
time.
into this like darker sides, like black metal, that occult feeling?
Yeah, I like the dark stuff. I like the extreme music, you know? And I think it's just like in my nature, I guess. I'm not an angry guy or like an aggressive person, but I'm drawn to the extremes of this kind of stuff. And I really, really enjoy, modern classical as well, which is very extreme. In some ways, maybe more extreme than metal. And like, I always felt that like, okay, I'm really into like exploring more bands, and especially when I was younger, like, and they didn't have, not everything was online. You had to like find these bands and then find out how to get the CD or whatever. I just kept trying to explore and find darker and darker music. So then when it was my turn to make music, I thought like, oh, well, I got to take things further.
Oh, okay, interesting. So you always had this like innovation sense.
For sure, gotta innovate. I think that's really important.
How did this like mix with classical music? I'm also a big fan of classical music. I don't know if I'm into like the underground, but I listen to, I don't know, like Rachmaninoff. I'm a big fan of Debussy, of Messiaen.
That's great. That's great stuff.
I don't know if I'm saying that right because they're all like Frenchy names. How did those mix up for you?
I always liked classical music, and I think I was like, as a teenager, I was just struggling to compose and write music. So I said, oh, I gotta go to school and be forced to study so that I can get better at writing. Then I learned all about classic, like not just romantic and classical era, but modern and serialism and all these sort of avant-garde takes on the genre that I'm like, wow, this Shostakovich string quartet sounds like 1349 riff. Like, I'm definitely got to steal that, you know? So yeah, very inspiring, I guess.
They say the best artists steal.
Yeah, exactly.
Backtracking a little bit. So for someone hearing Imperial Triumphant for the first time, how would you describe exactly what you do?
My elevator pitch has always been if 70s Miles Davis started a death metal band. Which I don't think that's actually what we sound like, but it's a
Okay.
pretty good elevator pitch. Like it gets people, oh, okay, I'll check that out, you know?
I'm hearing you out.
I mean, yeah, I think what we're doing is my goal is that, whether you like us or not, I think we're pretty objectively unique. And I really push hard on that, and I think there's a lot of bands that are in the avant-garde or extreme sort of realm of metal and black metal and death metal. And I think we've safely carved out a niche where you can hear something and be like, oh, it sounds like Imperial. And I really, that's always been my goal, is to have a unique sound, because I think that's important as an artist. It's really validating to grow as a band, and a lot of it comes from having to be really open-minded. I would never say that everything that we've done is like my vision and I've thought of everything. It's really been more of like other members of my band coming in with ideas, and me maybe initially being a bit turned off by it, but trying to keep an open mind and accept it, and then it turns out to change everything, so it's really been a great journey.
Okay, so wait, two things. First of all, what you say about like having a specific like niche and visual identity, I feel it is so important, because there are so many extreme metal bands in general, and they're all just like a bunch of guys with a black t-shirt. Like, what is it supposed to tell me about you? There's no visual, there's nothing. Some people don't even worry about that side.
Sometimes they don't even have a shirt.
Even worse, they can't even. Dude, you're in front of me. I really appreciate that visual side of things, but I'm not going to be asking that much about that, because I feel like you were probably beat up with so many questions about the visual identity that I want to go more.
You have no idea. You have no idea.
I was like, maybe I should ask about the mask, but like I could just Google search it as well. So I think that being in a band, so many people say like being in a band is complicated because you have to get along. And like people have like, some artists have like these huge egos, like I want this to be my way, blah blah. Do you have a good band synergy? You're not very like, oh, this has to be this way.
Yeah, for sure. The thing is, we're all equals in this band, and we all understand, kind of like subconsciously understand what the project needs. And so if someone comes in with an idea and it's not a good idea, and it often is me, we were always respectful, but there's always, sometimes there's a situation where someone's like, look, it's not servicing the music, this idea.
This is ass.
Yeah, it's or it's maybe not a bad idea, but it's just not met right for Imperial, Or there's always like, everything that we do is for the greater good of our work. So it's always coming from that place, and not just like, I don't like it because I didn't think of it, or like, I don't like this idea because it's this or that. You know what I mean? Like, I think we're all very good at communicating, I guess, is the best way to put it.
A beautiful band relationship as well.
Yeah, it's chill. They're good guys.
I see you have this very specific sound that you said you wanted to achieve. You did achieve it. I feel like the Imperial songs are very easy to distinguish from the other ones, at least on my playlist. It has a message, it has a visual identity, it has a specific sound. So did you always know you wanted to do something different, or did that just come with time?
Yes and no. Like, I always wanted to do something different. Like, I can play more straight, more classic death metal riffs, or I can write death metal riffs or black metal riffs. Like I said, in my first iteration of this band, was every riff just sounded like Battles in the North. Mm-hmm. But I came to realize, like, I don't want to just be ripping off bands that are doing it better than me anyway. So but that process kind of took a bit longer than just like, okay, well, what am I doing? Like, finding your identity as a musical artist is something that takes a little bit of time. It takes an open mind, and it takes a little bit of like searching and shit, and even once I realized that I wanted to focus my band on New York City and themes based around my hometown, there's still like a lot of time and a lot of writing and stuff where before we realized, like, we got to the point where it was like, okay, this is the vibe, this is the look. It wasn't like very pre-planned. So if you look at our discography from like, say, 2015 to 2018 or 2020, you can see the visual and conceptual and musical aesthetics growing. You listen to 2016's Alcest, and you're like, okay, there's a little bit of a swing beat here. There's a little bit of jazzy chord there. Like, okay, you can see things starting to like test the water and just see what works, and it's slowly just kind of building towards what we ended up becoming.
14 years of just growing and expanding.
Long time, I guess.
I guess. It is a long time. As a band, you can get along. A lot of bands like, get into ego troubles and
Yeah, I mean, we're not like millionaires, so we're not like really bound to this project because we have to be to like pay off a mortgage or some shit.
yeah.
Like, we're doing it because we like playing this music, and there's a rule as a touring musician: you got to fulfill 2 of these 3 prerequisites for a gig to be worth it. It's got to be good people, good music, or good money. If it's only one of those things, it's not worth it.
You need pillars.
Yeah. And I think most metal bands are probably good people and good money, or sorry, good people and good music. But as soon as you get like the vibes get off and it's just good music, then there's no reason to stick around,
There are many ways to find good music.
Yeah, and there's plenty of other people who can play.
Talking about relationships, you talk about your relationship with New York, so as your main source of inspiration. I mean, you talk about the elite, corruption, symbolism. Is there a sort of dichotomy in feeling? Because, I mean, having lived there, is there a love and hate relationship?
I guess so, yeah. I mean, New York is it's like a very brutal city. And I think a lot of people don't realize it because it's known for being, it has such a great reputation that they don't realize how brutal the city can be. And it's, but it's so big that a lot of like the darkness gets swept under the rug or outshined by the brilliance of its, former glory. The only reason I'm there is because I'm from there. You know what I mean? Like, all I did was I never moved to New York. I just graduated college and then moved back to my hometown. So for me, it's just maybe a bit more comfortable because I have like friends and my family there that I know. And I think I really admire people that move to New York because it can be really isolating. It can be really intense, and it's very expensive. So all those things together can make, I think, a tough experience for some people. So I really admire anyone that has the courage to do that sort of thing.
Maybe they're oblivious.
Yeah, they're chasing a dream, like the one thing about New York, despite how insane it is that for whatever reason, it's an incredible hub for musicians and artists. And I don't know why, because it's so expensive and its gigs pay so little, and it's just like a tough city. But for some reason, like, you can just meet any artist, and everyone's down to collaborate. We wanted to put Japanese taiko drums on a song, and we found a Japanese taiko drum studio and rented it out for the day. Like, it's just
Right.
like that.
It's like if you lived in like Utah, you couldn't do that. You would be chilling, but
Exactly. We decided right before we released Warming Opulence that we actually had fake horns on it. And then we were like, at one time we were like, guys, we gotta put real horns on this thing. And we were like, okay, let's see if we can get it done in a week. And we just start making phone calls. And
yeah.
New York has some of the best jazz musicians in the world. So in 1 week, we had a 5-piece brass quintet lay down the recording, and what you hear now is what it is. So it's really a great resource pool for that sort of thing.
That's you guys were like, okay, that was enough of the MIDI file.
Yeah, the MIDI just didn't cut it. It just didn't sound good.
Are we a serious band?
I really think that moment, it's funny too, because it was like we were so late on we're sending the masters to the label. We were already like 2 weeks late, and then we decided, okay, let's put real horns on it. And it was worth it. It was worth it. We ended up getting, like, I think that song, one of our quote unquote hits. And I don't think it would have been nearly as impactful if it had fake horns.
Right. No, yeah. I think that's the first one I heard of you. And
There you go.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah.
Imagine though, like if people were like, "Oh, these are fake horns." Never
You
mind.
could tell. You could tell it was fake ones. They
Okay,
don't
okay.
sound the same.
And I want to ask, so you blend, of course, like extreme metal with jazz and classical. How consciously are those influences integrated? Are you like,
I mean, I wouldn't say it's cautious. The word I would say is like conscious. Like we're almost the parts of what make Imperial Triumphant jazzy is sometimes not like the horns or whatever, or like the sax solo. It's to us, it's more like, oh, a band's playing with no click track and they're just maybe improvising a bit and, communicating with each other like a jazz trio would, like playing off of each other's instruments as opposed to just everyone playing their parts in uniform. I think that part is really jazzy about us. And I think also just the way that a lot of parts are played, obviously, like there's a lot of swing, there's a lot of walking bass, there's a lot of, free improv, like I mentioned. And, I think it's all done, like I said, to benefit the song. And it's a bit of a puzzle to make sure that it's done tastefully. I don't want to do something where we're like, oh, here's the jazz part, like that's really cheesy. And you can tell when
you
bands
get
try
ready for the
to
jazz
do
part?
shit like that. It always comes off inauthentic. That's the thing about my band is, like I said, whether you like us or not, we do keep it pretty goddamn real.
You do leave room for improvisation. You're talking about like rather than like a jazz like part, specific part, you're like the method of jazz.
Yeah.
So
The
you're
method and the way of recording and the way of just the overall approach to performance, I think, is much more jazz leaning as opposed to like, okay, this song's 130 BPM. Do the drums, then we're gonna do the bass, then we're gonna do the guitars, and we're gonna like put everything under a microscope. Like when we're recording, it's much more about capturing that energy of a trio. And live too, it's the same. I think when we play live, what you're hearing is what we're playing. So you're hearing us create a song from scratch, just make it happen.
it's really interesting. It's more about the feeling that you're giving rather than a specific, like very microscopically analyzed track.
Exactly.
So I want to know also, what is your favorite anecdote with the band?
My favorite anecdote. I don't even know if I have a favorite one. There's so many. We've been touring for 10 years.
10 years. Okay.
I mean,
You can
yeah,
say anything, anything.
I mean, I can give you ones from just this year or last year. Like,
Yes, whatever comes out
we're
from your heart.
we started doing this thing where we have like a trombone with fire coming out of it, and Steve does a slide solo with it, and they're like these sort of sparklers that they last like a minute or whatever, and then they die out. And he does his solo, and then the fire thing goes out, and he throws it on the floor. And then something happens and this fire comes back.
No.
And then we're playing and we don't even realize that his amp's on fire.
Oh,
Because
okay.
it got-
Metal,
it was
metal
like
as
this-
hell.
Yeah,
Metal as fire,
and
literally.
it was like an orange amp, so like the rest of the
Oh,
tour,
of
the whole
course.
side of this orange amp is just black. Just like that was a pretty funny little anecdote where we're just like, oh, almost burned the club down.
Oh, okay, very, very casually. Oh, look, we
Yeah, we
almost
don't even know,
burned
and
the
then
fucking
people
place.
people are watching us play, and they're
Oh, you were
pointing at it.
live.
Oh
I
yeah.
thought you were. I thought you were like rehearsing, and that happened. No, no, no. Everyone was watching.
No, this was a show. Yeah, that was a little club date. Yeah, so I mean, there's a million little anecdotes like that, like we've been all over.
Yeah.
That one just popped out to my head because it's so funny.
All right, but you take things well. You guys are going to be touring soon, literally in no time. How do you feel about that?
I'm kind of ready to get back on the road, I guess, and it's new, so that's really exciting.
Well, yeah, are you gonna have time to like look around?
Probably not. We have like Argentina is like right in between Brazil and Colombia, and it's day to day, back to back to back, so I'll have time. I'm hoping to get some Argentina. I'm really looking forward to because I know they're known for their meat and their wine, which are like two of my favorite things. So I'm really looking forward to it, and hopefully we can find a nice little restaurant and feast.
Argentina's worth it. As an Argentinian citizen, I can tell you, it's amazing.
Hell yeah. I'm so
Yeah.
hyped.
What can we expect for Imperial Triumphant in 2026?
Not too much. I mean, we might have a few secrets up our sleeve, but apart from a few, maybe like one or two more tours, I think we're going to be pretty chill this year. We're already working on a new album, so
Oh, okay. Well,
So I
that's not
think
that
I
chill.
kind of, well, no, yeah, I want to focus on writing a new album. I would like to spend most of my time not on the road and just because this last year was really brutal. We did a lot of touring and it was just,
It's tiring.
yeah, it was intense. But I think, yeah, I'm looking forward to writing this new album or finishing this new album. It should be pretty cool.
Is there a different concept? Is there something in mind for the new one? Is it a secret?
Yeah, it's all about Argentina.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's amazing.
So that's why we're going down there for a little R&D. We want to make sure we get all the pronunciation right.
Exactly. Well, I can help you. You can just talk to me. I will I will teach you guys. We'll make another Zoom call, and I will tell you all about the corruption in my country.
And the meat.
And the meat and the wine.
Yeah,
well, the meat will not disappoint because we have a lot of stuff like that. Like meat is cheap here. I understand that in the
We love meat
USA.
in Imperial Triumphant. We're big all about the feast.
What is a message that you have for the people who are going to see you or your fans?
We really look forward to playing in Argentina, and we heard a lot of great things about the crowd, and we're definitely one of those bands where the energy of the crowd feeds us, and we like, the crazier the crowd, the crazier our show. So we definitely guarantee you will not be disappointed.
It was a pleasure talking to you and meeting you.
I appreciate it.
I will continue to listen to your amazing blend of elements.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
Take care.